Shigeru Miyamoto created Mario while developing Donkey Kong in an attempt to produce a best-selling video game for Nintendo. Previous games, such as Sheriff, had not achieved the success of games such as Namco's Pac-Man. Originally, Miyamoto wanted to create a game that used the characters Popeye, Bluto, and Olive Oil. At the time, however, as Miyamoto was unable to acquire a license to use the characters, he would end up creating an unnamed player character, along with Donkey Kong. Mario debuted as Jumpman in the arcade game Donkey Kong in 1981. He is shown to be a carpenter and has a pet ape named Donkey Kong. The carpenter mistreats the ape, who then escapes to kidnap Jumpman's girlfriend, originally known as the Lady, later named Pauline. The player must take the role of Jumpman and rescue the girl. Jumpman was renamed Mario in 1982's Donkey Kong Jr., the only game in which Mario has been portrayed as an antagonist since. In the 1983 arcade game Mario Brothers, Mario and his younger brother Luigi are portrayed as Italian-American plumbers who have to defeat creatures that have been coming from the sewers below New York City. Mario Brothers is a platform game developed and published for arcades by Nintendo in 1983. It was designed by Shigeru Miyamoto and his coworker and Nintendo's chief engineer Gunpei Yokoi. The original versions of Mario Brothers, the arcade version and the Family Computer Nintendo Entertainment System version were received positively by critics. Mario Brothers features two plumbers, Mario and Luigi, having to investigate the sewers of New York after strange creatures have been appearing. The objective of the game is to defeat all of the enemies in each phase. Each phase has different enemies, and as you level up the game becomes more tough. The mechanics of Mario Brothers involve only running and jumping. Unlike future Mario games, players cannot jump on enemies and squash them. Each phase is a series of platforms with pipes at each corner of the screen, along with an object called a POW block in the center. Phases use wraparound, meaning that enemies and players that go off to one side will reappear on the opposite side. The player gains points by defeating multiple enemies consecutively and can participate in a bonus round to gain more points. Enemies are defeated by kicking them over once they have been flipped on their back. There are 5 enemies which emerge from the pipes: the Shell Creeper, the Sidestepper, which requires 2 hits to flip over, the Fighter Fly, which moves by jumping and can only be flipped when it is touching a platform, and the Slippus, which turns platforms into slippery ice. All iced platforms return to normal at the start of each new phase. A 5th enemy, Fireballs, fly around the screen instead of sticking to platforms. The POW block flips all enemies touching a platform or the floor when a player hits it from below. It can be used 3 times before it disappears. Bonus rounds give the players a chance to score extra points and lives by collecting coins without having to deal with enemies. The POW block regenerates itself. Mario Brothers was only modestly successful in Japanese arcades. In Japan, Game Machine listed Mario Brothers on the July 15, 1983 issue as being the 3rd most successful new table arcade unit of the year. The arcade cabinets have since become mildly rare. To date in Japan, the NES version of Mario Brothers has sold more than 1.63 million copies, and the Famicom Mini re-release of the NES version has sold more than 90,000 copies. Mario Brothers is a game which is a highly popular and well-known game, and it created a buzz in early 1980 and 1990. In those days, even it was a non-digital era, it almost reached many parts of the world.